Okay, today we are doing Module 2, Lesson 12. We've learned a lot about adding mixed numbers, and today we're going to talk about subtracting with mixed numbers. So we will be subtracting with a mixed number as our minuend and a mixed number as our subtrahend. Now, I've written down some vocabulary here for you to copy down if you want to. You can pause and do that, but I want to talk about a minuend, a subtrahend, and the difference. Those are the three different parts of a subtraction problem. The minuend is the first number, so the thing that you are to be subtracting from, and the subtrahend is that number that you are going to subtract. Okay? So you'll hear me use those vocabulary words quite a bit today, just to talk about the things that we are solving. Now, I do want to do a little bit of a warm-up and a little reminder for you with some number bonds. So I'm going to start out with the number 2, and I want to decompose that in a way that will set you up for success with how I want you decomposing numbers when we do this today. So if I have the number 2, I want to decompose that into a fraction and a whole number. So if I have 2, I can decompose that into 2, into 1, and maybe 4/4. So remember that anytime a fraction has the same numerator and denominator, it is equivalent to 1. Okay, so I've decomposed that into 1 and 4/4. So say I had a bigger number like maybe 6, I could decompose that into 5. And then say I wanted my denominator to be 8ths. Well, in order to make that equivalent to 1, I would need to have 8/8. So we are just decomposing those numbers, breaking them down, and looking at them a different way. Now, essentially the reason that we do this is because when I am subtracting, it is a lot easier to subtract. So see, I had 8/8 and I want to take away 7/8. We have to have that so that they can have the same denominator, instead of if we just were to have 1 minus 7/8. Now, I'm sure some of you could do that in your head. That's great, but we're going to be working with some pretty big numbers where we are not going to be able to do it in our heads. So that's why we want to really get in the habit of breaking those down and decomposing them that way. Okay, so let's just do a practice problem, and I'll just kind of walk you through a couple of them, and then I would love for you to be able to pause and try them on your own. So the first one that I want to do, kind of just you watch me do it. We will do 4 3/5 minus 2. Okay, so with this first one, when we are doing a mixed number minus a whole number, all we really have to do is do our whole number minus our whole number. 4 3/5 minus 2 equals 2. Okay, let me do another one. 7 1/5 minus 5. Well, 7 minus 5 is 2. The answer is also 2. 9 4/7 minus 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. So there's our answer here. Okay, so those with a mixed number minus a whole number, those are pretty easy. I mean, there's really nothing else that you need to do. Now, when the roles are reversed, when it is flipped, it does look quite different. You do have to do a lot more decomposition from that. So say I have 5 minus 2 3/4. Okay, so with this one, I am going to have to take my minuend, my 5, and I'm going to have to decompose that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and look at what my denominator is. so that I can know what to make that new denominator. I'm going to take 4/4, because that equals 1, and 4. So I'm going to decompose that 5 into 4 and 4/4. So now what I can do is I can take 4 and 4/4 minus 2 and 3/4. So all I did essentially was take my minuend, my original minuend that was a whole number, and turn that minuend into a mixed number. So now what I want to do is 4 minus 2, which is 2. And then I want to do 4/4 minus 3/4, which is going to give me 1/4. Okay? So what I want you to do is pause the video, and I want you to try this next one on your own, okay? I want you to try this next one on your own. The first one we'll do will be 15 and 5/7 minus 8. Okay, so pause the video, try this one on your own. And with this one, it is a mixed number minus a whole number. We have 15 and 5/7 minus 8. Well, I can do 15 minus 8, which will give me 7 and 5/7. So you should have got 7 and 5/7. Let's try one more example. And we will do a kind this time that has a whole number minus a mixed number. Let me find some examples. We'll do 7 minus 2 and 3/5, okay? 7 minus 2 and 3/5. Now all I'm gonna do is take this first number and I'm gonna turn that into a mixed number. So I can decompose it, and you can write this out if you'd like. But some of you might be comfortable with just doing this. 6 and 5/5 minus 2 and 3/5. That might be easier for you to visualize. So this right here is the exact same thing as this. We're just looking at it a different way. Okay, so now let's take that 6 minus 2, which will give us a 4, and 5/5 minus 3/5, which will give us 2/5. So I'll have 4 and 2/5. Okay. Now I want you to go ahead and move over to, let's see, page 105 in your workbook. 105 in your workbook. Okay, page 105. And I want you to go ahead and try all 3 of these problems on your own. I want you to try all 3 of them on your own. So pause the video now, try all 3 of them on your own, and then you can hit play on the video and you can check your answers. All right, let's go ahead and check your answers and see how you're doing. So number 1 is 28 and 5/7 minus 6. So this is going to be a mixed number minus a whole number. There's no need to decompose anything. In this case, I can just do 28 minus 6, which would be 22 and 5/7. So my first one is 22 and 5/7. Alrighty. Number 2, I am going to want to decompose this just a little bit. So I'm going to make this 6 and 7/7. All because my denominator here is 7ths, so that is the size unit that I'm going to want to work with. So I'm going to have 6 and 7/7 minus 3 and 2/7. 6 minus 3 is 3. 7/7 minus 2/7 is 5/7. So I will have 3 and 5/7. Okay, on number 3, again, I'm going to want to decompose this into 14. And I'll do 8/8 because that is my denominator here. So I'll have 14 and 8/8 minus 6 and 3/8. 14 minus 6 is 8. 8/8 minus 3/8 is 5/8. So I will have 8 and 5/8. Now, as usual, please let me know if you have any questions. Try your absolute best. Make sure you follow all of the instructions and the steps. Use your tools. And I will have your instructions for you in class of what I want you to do next. Good luck.